Welcome to Lagda Vedanga Values, Features and Formats as the source values of Vedic astronomy. In step 3, our focus is going to be upon the distinct 49 shlokas of the pair of scriptures of Lagda Vedanga. Sadhakas, students, teachers and scholars are welcome. Let us have a revisit to the text of Rigved Lagda Jyotish Vedanga and Yajurved Lagda Jyotish Vedanga. We know that Rigved Lagda Vedanga is a scripture of the Rigved Vedanga is of 36 shlokas, while Yajurved Vedanga is of 44 shlokas. However, there are 31 shlokas of Rigved Lagda Vedanga which are also the shlokas of Yajurved, but 5 shlokas of Rigved Yajurvedanga are not part of the text of Yajurved Vedanga. Therefore, in all, 44 plus 5, 49 are the distinct shlokas of both these scriptures. Value 49 is 7 square, while Rigved Vedanga of range of 36 shlokas takes us to value 6 square. As such, for complete comprehension of the organization of the text of Lagda Vedanga, we have to have a reach from 6 square to 7 square. The value 6 square as such is taking us to grid 5-7, which accommodates all the 35 double-digit numbers of 6 place value system, while the grid 6 into 8 accommodates all the 48 double-digit numbers of 7 place value system. Therefore, the essential organization format which is to be chased is a transition from the grid 5x7 accommodating double-digit numbers of 6 place value system to the grid 6 cross 8, which accommodates 48 double-digit numbers of 7 place value system. Here accommodation is of 35 double-digit numbers of 6 place value system, and here the accommodation is of 48 double-digit numbers of 7 place value system. It is this difference value of 13 which is of pointed focus, and it is this feature which becomes the essential feature. As we know, value 13 is the TCV value of formulation Surya, Sun, and it is also the TCV value of formulation Tithi, date, day, divas. Further, we know that 6 space is having 13 geometries range, and still further we know that within 4 space 12 edged cube manifests additional 13th edge. Still further, we know that 5 space domain with 6 space as origin, and 5 space itself is an origin of a 4 space. This value 4, 5, 6 as 15 as a domain leads us to value 13 as a dimension. Still further, we know 13 is the TCV value of a akshar, a syllable. Still further, we know that when the 5 space as a origin transcends out of 4 space domain, it splits the 4 space domain as a pair of 4-dimensional domains, and it takes us to the value 13. Still further, we know that there are 16 sutras and 13 Ganita Sutras. All further, we know that values range 1 to 16 is having factors range 1 to 29, which is 16 plus 13. Still further, we know that value 16 is equal to 2 raised to power 4, which is parallel to the dimensional frame of quadruple spatial dimensions of creators of space. Therefore, we shall visit and revisit and to imbibe all these features so that we will be clear in our mind as to the format along which the texts of Lagda Vedanga are being organized, and how these texts are interconnected, interrelated, and how these texts are in fact providing us a comprehensive view, giving us an integrated format for the chase of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe, and as to how the earth is having its translation path. Earth, we know, is having a translation path, firstly along its own axis, and then moon is also having a translation around the earth, and the earth simultaneously is having a translation path around the sun as Surya. All these features, as these are to be ultimately reached at. Rig Ved Lagda Vedanga and Yajurved Lagda Vedanga together are leading to an integrated format in terms of which the translation of the earth around its own axis, along with the moon, along the earth, and this combined integrated setup is having a translation around the sun as 6 space. It is this feature which shall be taken as the basic feature, and in terms of this feature we will be sequentially, step by step, very gently reaching at as to how the complete translation of the earth around the sun and parallel to it the existence phenomenon is being chased by the Lagda Vedangas, and how this format, these features and these values are ultimately becoming the basic values, features and formats of a Vedic astronomy, and how from Vedanga we reach the Vedas. Vedang is the essence of Vedas. From Vedang to Ved is the reach. We know Vedang to Ved is the reach, and Ved we know is of TC value 20, while Ang we know is of TC value 13. of value 10, is of value 10, and both together lead to value 30, and 30 is the value which takes us to the value 6, 7, 8 and 9, a manifestation layer of hypercube 8 with 6 space playing the role of a dimension. As such, this reach along this format of these features and values is ultimately taking us to from the Sun, Surya in a static state setup to the Surya as a dynamic state setup. As Vedanga, we will be chasing 6 space in a static state. That means 6 space is in a static state, but further we know that 6 space is enveloped within a transcendental boundary, and each of the component of the transcendental boundary, when strips off in the outer space, then it carries along with it the 10 creative components, and each creative component is carrying along with it its solid components. As such, the strip off of a transcendental boundary component from the domain of 6 space is taking us that we are having a setup of the outer space being covered as of 80 steps. These 80 steps we know are now being availed here as 36 and 44, 36 being the shlokas range of Rigved, Jyotish, Vedanga, while 44 is the shlokas range of Yajurved, Jyotish, Vedanga. Further, we know that 36 is the value which is taking us to as 4 into 9, and 44 is taking us to 4 into 11, and 11 is equal to 11 geometries range of a 5 space, and 9 is equal to 9 geometries range of a 4 space. Therefore, it is taking us to value 20, and 20 is the value which we know is the value of the Ved. These are the features, these are the values, and it is the format how from here the Lagda Vedanga values, features and format as basic values of Vedic astronomy, we shall be ultimately along this format with these features and these values, we will be reaching at Ved. So the Vedic astronomy as such ultimately is going to be reached at as 6 space means the Surya, sun in motion. Therefore, when sun is in a dynamic state, that is to be the reach. But here in the Lagda Vedanga, we are initially approaching it sun, Surya in a static state. Therefore, we accept 6 as a static state to arrive at the basic values, features of the Vedic astronomy. Vedic astronomy is having its basic values, features and format by taking sun, Surya, 6 space, hypercube 6 format in a static state. From this static state reach as the Lagda Vedangas, we built a structural foundation thereupon, and we reach at the Vedic astronomy of its complete values and domain. The complete values, domain and spectrum of Vedic astronomy is reached at along the foundation of the format of values and features of Lagda Vedanga. And the transition from here to here would mean that here we are having 6 space in a static state, while if we will be transiting to 6 space in a dynamic state. Therefore, a reach from 6 space in a static state, hypercube 6 in a static state, 6 space domain in a static space, 6 space content lump in a static state, or our sun or Surya in a static state. From this static state format, From values and features of this static state setup of this hypercube 6 format, we will be reaching at by having a transition and transformation. We will be having transition and transformation for the static state 6 space body to dynamic state 6 space body. This reach at the dynamic state of 6 space body would mean that 6 space shall be acquiring the status of a boundary of a 7 space. It is here where we will be having reaching a 7 space domain a raised to power 7, which accepts domain boundary ratio as a raised to power 7 is to 14 b raised to power 6. It is a dhruv, it is a pole star. That means while the Vedic astronomy is reaching from the format of Lagda Vedanga, then it is accepting now here 7 space, means the pole star is being accepted in a static state. Pole star in a static state and 6 space in a dynamic state. Now 6 space in a dynamic state comes to be as creating a self-referral boundary of 7 space, and it is of 14 components. Therefore from here the Vedic astronomy from the format of a Lagda Vedanga values, features and format, we will be transiting and transforming to the richness of the Vedic astronomy by taking that 7 space pole star is in a static state. Initially, Lagda Vedanga is taking 6 space in a static state, and we reach at 7th state by taking 6 in a dynamic state. However, when 6 space is taken in a dynamic state, then 7 space is taken in a static state. Now this reach as such, when is of this format, that means our solar universe, a 6 space content as such, is forming a self-referral boundary of a pole star. This 7 space domain in a static state, and we are having a self-referral boundary of it. This self-referral boundary is of 14 components. With it, the Vedic systems have a takeoff and they reach the Kalp. Now that means from Jyotish Vedang, we reach the Kalpa Vedang. The Kalp, there are 14. That means now from the Jyotish Vedang, we shall be reaching the Kalpa Vedang. It would be a Manvantar Vidya. As such, the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology who are fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be face to face with the complete richness of the Vedic astronomy, they shall smoothly, gently, sequentially, step by step reach from Jyotish Vedang to Kalpa Vedang. Therefore, it is this reach from Jyotish Vedang to the Kalpa Vedang will be completing the chase of the discipline of the Jyotish Vedang itself. Therefore, the astronomy, Vedic astronomy chase would be complete only by having a sequential reach, by having a transition and transformation, and by following the translation path of the 6 space content in a static state to 6 space content in a dynamic state in the role of self-referral boundary of 7 space. That means how our solar universe, how the 6 space content, how our Surya is playing the role of at the boundary of the pole star, how at the boundary of the pole star our sun Surya is having its translation path. The chase of the sun Surya along the self-referral boundary of a pole star. So when Surya Rath Path, when the path of the chariot of the sun is going to be of the format of the self-referral boundary of the pole star, then we will be in a position to say that we are going to be parallel to the path of the chariot of the sun, and only then we can say that we are face to face with the values of the richness of the spectrum of the Vedic astronomy. Let us make a specific note that at present we are only restricting ourselves to the values, features and format of Vedic astronomy as is preserved in the Lagda Vedangas as a Jyotish Vedanta, and these values and features will ultimately lay the proper needed foundation for the full richness chase of the values of the Vedic astronomy when the sun, Surya, will be taking its chariot, Rath, along the path. The Surya Rath path is going to be the self-referral boundary of 14 components of the pole star. Therefore, we will be coming to it in the next phase. In the present phase, our focus, attention is only restricted up till the Lagda Vedanga. The Lagda Vedanga, as we have seen, is a scripture of the total range of 49 distinct shlokas. One may further have a pause here and take note that for proper appreciation as to how these values and features accept organization as being here of 49 means from 36 shlokas of Rig Veda, Jyotish Vedanta to 7 square, our reach is taking us from 5x7 grid format, which accommodates all the 35 double-digit numbers of 6-place value system, to grid 6x8, which accommodates all the 48 double-digit numbers of 7-place value system. From here, we have to have a pause here, and we have to see that this transition as it is taking us to a jump of value 30. That means this translation path is going to be of 13 steps. However, we know that value 30 as a domain is accepting 11 as a dimension. This value 13 and 11 as 24 is equal to the value of the 24 letters, aksharas, syllables of Gayatri. Now it is this Gayatri which is the first Ashv, first horse. So this Ashv, horse of the chariot of the sun, as it is, Ashv gives us a TCV value 11, while the Akshara, the letters, the word Akshara is giving us the value 13. Therefore, it is this feature with which we will be in a position to have a proper appreciation as to how the knowledge is being organized and is reaching us in this language and in terms of these formulations. Therefore, one who wants to have a proper appreciation of the Vedic systems and the processing steps, then one shall, as we have been in at the initial stages, coming to know that we have to prepare our own transcendental code values dictionaries. So transcendental code values, then Vedic code values, then Yama values, all these values are to be reached at, and the same are to be worked out. And when these values will be available with us, when we will be fully acquainted with the organization format features of Devanagari alphabet, then together with it our acquaintance and values, features and format of the Ganita Sutras, particularly of Ganita Sutras, which are 13 in number, then we will be knowing how to work with the proportionate symmetry. The working of the simultaneous systems, more than one system. Say if we are having a one interval, say of length say L, we have another interval, say of length U. When we want to handle simultaneously both these formats of different lengths and different values as such, then we know how to work out this as a symmetry by coordinating the endpoints and then also coordinating the middle point. Now how will we reaching it? It is here where the Ganita Upsutras, Anurupe and Adi Aden, Antim Anten, like that we will be reaching at. Therefore, these sadhakas, the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology, fulfilled with the intensity of virtue to have a proper comprehension, to have a full grasp, and to have complete imbibing of the processing steps which are being availed and which are being available in the organization format and the chase steps of the Lagda Vedanga, then one shall have the following initial steps. Let us note down the first step needed is the acquaintance with the Devanagari alphabet. The second step needed is the acceptance of the transcendental code values, Vedic code values, Yama values by the Devanagari alphabet. Third step needed is that we should be fully acquainted with the format of a Sthapatya ring rod as a synthetic setup of hypercubes 1 to 6, the representative regular bodies of 1 to 6 space. The fourth step which we have to be acquainted with is that the Vedic systems have settled the Panchmahabhut, means the Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu, Akash, and ahead is Surya, and step ahead is a Dhruv. If we will be in a position to reach at these 7 steps chase, these 7 steps chase formulations along with their TCV values, Vedic values, syllable values, Yama values, when we will be in a position to have a proper appreciation of these formulations, then we will be in a position to have an appreciation how the values 1 to 6 parallel to the hypercubes 1 to hypercube 6. Then in terms of these, when we will be having the knowledge of the Ganita Sutras, particularly of Upsutras, then we shall be in a position to have a proper processing parallel to the values, features and formats of the Lagda Vedanga. Let us make a note that we are having one book titled Jyotish Vedang. Vedang Jyotisham is the title. It is about the Vedang Jyotish, and it is about the Vedang Jyotish of the Lagd. Lagd Jyotish Vedang are 2, Rigved Jyotish Vedang and Yajurved Jyotish Vedang. This book is having a exploratory commentary by Shivraj Acharya Kaundalim Nyanam. This book is published by Chokhamba Publishers, Delhi, Varanasi. Together with this book, one can also take help of Vedic Mathematics Volumes Book 3 by me. This also is published by Chokhamba Publishers, Delhi, Varanasi. These 2 books, one shall have these 2 books with them to facilitate the chase of the processing steps along the format of Jyotish Vedanga of the Lagda Rishi. Lagda Muni Vedanga scriptures are values arranged as 49 shlokas, and out of these 49 shlokas we have seen 5 shlokas are other than the 44 shlokas of the Jyotish Vedanta, Yajur Jyotish Vedanta. Therefore, one shall first of all be through these 5 distinct shlokas of the Rigved Jyotish Vedanta, which are not part of the Yajurved Jyotish Vedanta. These 5 shlokas are at serial number 2, 13, 19, 33 and 34. Shloka 2, 13, 19, 33 and 34 are the shlokas of Rigved Jyotish Vedanta. These 5 shlokas as such are not part of the text of the Yajurved Jyotish Vedanta. Further, the remaining 31 shlokas of Rigved Jyotish Vedanta are part of the Yajurved text as well. However, there are 13 such shlokas which are being not, which are as such, or the new shlokas, or these 13 shlokas are not part of the text of the Rigved Jyotish Vedanta. Therefore, our initial focus of understanding the organization format features of Ilagd Jyotish Vedanta will focus upon these features. Let us make these tabulation. Let us take text 1 is a Rigved Jyotish Vedanta. It is of 36 shlokas range, of which 31 shlokas have been adopted by the text 2 of Yajurved Jyotish Vedanta. However, the 5 shlokas of text 1 of Rigved Jyotish Vedanta, namely shlokas at serial number 2, 13, 19, 34 and 35 are not part of the text of Yajurved Jyotish Vedanta. Now, the 31 shlokas of Yajurved Jyotish Vedanta are the shlokas of Rigved Jyotish Vedanta, but 13 shlokas of Yajurved Jyotish Vedanta are not part of the Rigved Jyotish Vedanta. These 13 shlokas are at serial number 11, 12, 14, 16, 20, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 36, 37. Therefore, first of all, we shall have a pointed attention towards the simple rendering as well as the values, features and formats of these 13 shlokas and these 5 shlokas. One may further have a pause here and take note that 13 plus 5 gives us a value 18, which is equal to the value of fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 5. Further, that Srimad Bhagavad Gita is a scripture of 18 chapters, and the 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is of the range of 29 shlokas. This value 29 we know is equal to the value of the TC value of a Brahma, and further we know it is equal to the 16 sutras plus 13 Upsutras values. The Srimad Durga Saptasati is a scripture of 30 chapters, and the total range of vachas, shlokas and upshlokas of this chapter is coming to be precisely 29. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is a scripture of 700 shlokas range, and Srimad Durga Saptasati as well as a scripture of 700 shlokas, upshlokas. Now, it is this feature, it is this value which will help us appreciate as to the way there are a pair of Jyotish Vedanta scriptures and how the values, features and formats of the pair of Lagda Vedanta, Jyotish Vedanta scriptures and the way Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Durga Saptasati scriptures are having these values, features and format with their independent reach. Now, these features as these are and as these are scattered at different and these are being availed by the different scriptures, and how all these values are need to be given a comprehensive view. And it is in terms of this comprehensive view we will be in a position to comprehend and appreciate as to how the foundational values, features, format of Vedic astronomy as is preserved and is availed and is being worked out as a pair of lugged scriptures is the basic foundation upon which the Vedic systems are building its reach. So Vedic literature, Vedic scriptures are availing this format of Lagd Jyotish Vedanga scriptures. Pair of Jyotish Lagd Vedanga scriptures together constitute an integrated format. This integrated format of the pair of Lagd scriptures deserve to be appreciated. One shall sit comfortably, one shall permit the transcending mind firstly to be through both these scriptures of Jyotish Vedanga as independent and self-contained scriptures, and thereafter one shall reach at the integrated values, features and formats of the pair of scriptures, as is the processing steps of the Ganita Sutras. Ganita Sutras and Ganita Upsutras are initially to be taken as a pair of scriptures, independent scriptures, self-contained scriptures, and thereafter both these scriptures are to be approached as an integrated text. Therefore, the integrated text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras as a text of Vedic mathematics is going to help us to have proper appreciation and as to how the integrated format of the pair of Lagd Jyotish Vedanga scriptures is to be availed to reach at the richness of the Vedic astronomy, where the Surya, the sun, will be in a dynamic state, and our solar universe, our six space content, as shall be in the role of a self-referral boundary of a pole star. Let us now have a pause here and let us take note that now we have to initiate our study of the scriptures, and we will begin with Yajurveda Vedanga. As we know that out of the 49 total shlokas range, 44 are the same as are of the Yajurveda Vedanga, and there are 5 only which are distinct, and those are in the Rigveda Jyotish Vedanga. And whenever and wherever we will be reaching at that, the replacement or the substitutes or alternative or complementary, supplementary nature of those 5 shlokas we will be reaching at. Therefore, today we are taking up the shloka 1. It is taking us the first formulation, and it is Panch. It has simple rendering, means 5. However, its TC value is 15, and 15 we know is equal to 1 into 3 into 5, and it is equal to the dimensional frame of a 5 space. As such, let us make a note that Lagd Jyotish Vedanga is availing the format of a 5 space, means Lagd Vedanga is availing the format of a transcendental boundary. Therefore, now we will be chasing the transcendental boundary of a 6 space, and it is going to be the 5th element and a Akash. Therefore, we are having a space, we will be in a space, and this space is going to be the space which is enveloping and creating a transcendental boundary of our Surya, sun. So the space around the sun is the format path along which we are going to chase the values, features and format of Lagda Vedanga for having full translation follow-up for the earth. So we have to follow the earth as it is translating around the sun. So the space around the sun is the path. So value 5 is the value, which space 5 is the space. So 5 space as such is the space which will be creating transcendental boundary of a Surya, and this is going to be the Prithvi Path. Now Prithvi Parikrama Path. This Prithvi Parikrama Path, we have to follow it. By following it, we will be having a complete knowledge of the translation of the earth around the sun, though simultaneously earth is having a revolution around itself as well and is also carrying moon along with it. These values and features, this background, this path, this format as such is to be followed by us. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to focus upon the space around the sun as the transcendental boundary of the sun, which is going to be the translation path of the earth, being worked out precisely, fully, completely, exhaustively by the Lagda Jyotish Vedanga. Thank you very much.